Yo. What's going on? 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 Yes. Respect to the chat room. Respect to Bernie L. Respect to Ricky Webster. What's up? What's going on with y'all, man? Appreciate you posting the links. Glad to see you guys. This is gonna be the last Tuesday show for the new year. So man, all I could be is grateful for everybody that rock with us, everybody that check out the videos and leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, we get a lot of cool comments and commentary and feedback that these videos help a lot of you guys. Cause my man Ed, he be out here preaching, man. He be doing the damn thing, laying it down. And the game is very heavy. The game is very deep. And I appreciate y'all for messing with us. Appreciate Ed for doing his thing. I think he should be on his way. You know what I'm saying? So he'll come on. He'll come on when it's time for him to come on. Rob Cruz, what up? Respect. Yeah, man. So y'all seen the thumbnail. So today's topic is focus. All right, here come Ed right now. There you go. What up, Ed?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Nothing much, bro. How's everything?
Chilling. I was just kind of going over the fact that this is going to be the last show for 2021. You know what I'm saying? And just being grateful for the fact that dudes actually fuck with this series of videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
being grateful for that. What's up, Fernando? Fernando Faith. You know what I'm saying?
Respect, Fernando.
Yeah, man. You got anything? I mean, before we start, like, you have anything you want to say or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, so my YouTube channel is EDZone, EDDZONE. Feel free to go over and subscribe. I just cover general social dynamics over there. Just things to make people, give something to think about, help people with self-improvement. I cover nutrition, current events, male-female dynamics, a whole wide range of topics. I got two dope playlists, one called Real Hip Hop, another one called Timeless that has more like old school 70s, 80s music. And yeah, like you'll find a little bit of everything good in there. So like definitely check it out. And of course, I got my clothing store at normalbrands.com. That's where you can get these snapbacks, and you can get so much more: electronics, accessories, hoodies, t-shirts, all of that stuff. And of course, I want to say everybody Happy New Year, right? Every day is a new opportunity, but especially this year coming up, which is why I chose the topic that we're going to be talking about today.
Facts. Yeah, man. Let's see what 2022 got to offer, because this pandemic is, or whatever they want to call it,
Miles, Godzilla's coming. Like one day you're just gonna see Godzilla just rising above the sea, bro. That's all you're gonna see.
It's C-19, whatever the hell you want to call it, man. Or maybe they're gonna, everybody who's vaccinated gonna turn into a Matrix swarm, like in the movie. I don't know if you saw Matrix 4 yet, but
nah.
They got this new thing called swarm, the swarm effect, where it's not just agents turning into, it's not just people turning into agents. It's like they could turn regular people into a swarm of like mindless drones that do some crazy shit. So I got mixed emotions about that movie. I say if you got HBO Max, just watch that shit at home. Don't waste your time going into the theater. It's a type of movie where you say to yourself, "Damn, why did I risk going outside and possibly catching some shit just to see this movie?" You feel me? So whatever,
Yeah, I heard it was terrible. So,
but there, like that little thing that I like, that there's little ideas in it that can actually be good. Like if you just if you break it down and look at it. But the movie's horrible, especially if you're a fan of the first movie and the initial trilogy. It's bad. But anyway, again, back to the topic. The topic is focus, man. The topic is focus. And, personally, I've been noticing something, I've been noticing callers call in. You probably noticed this too, Ed. A lot of callers call in, and last few times we had callers call in, and when we ask them, what do you want? Like, they literally can't answer the question.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, these are grown ass men. Like, some of them in their late 20s, early 30s. And you're like, so bro, what do you want? Like, what are you talking about? and they cannot answer the question. They stuttering, they backtracking, they backpedaling, and it's like, I do photography.
Right.
And if you don't have a subject, at least you can't tell the camera what to focus on. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't have something to put the cursor on so you could press that button to make the camera focus, it won't happen. It won't focus. You get what I'm saying? So focus is crazy because it's very important, but at the same time, it's like we got to first figure out, what are we focused on? What do we really want to focus on? You understand what I'm saying? Like, and that requires a choice. That requires us to make a choice and not be afraid to make that choice. You know what I'm saying? But before I go too deep, I'm gonna let my man, since you came up with the topic, I'm gonna let my man get into the, what focus means and how we could, begin to discuss it, man. Go ahead, take it away, man.
No doubt. Yeah. So the reason I came up with this topic is, once again, 2021 is almost over, right? We're heading to another year. Time to switch gears, time to kick it up a notch, right? Prepare ourselves to evolve, do what we're supposed to do, right? And in order to be focused, in order to really make those cliche New Year's resolutions come true that a lot of people like to talk about, you have to be selfish. You have to be selfish.
Yes.
A lot of guys nowadays are not selfish enough. And by that, I mean this. They're not selfish in the fact that they're constantly putting women, friends, entertainment, everything outside of themselves above themselves, right? So when you're constantly distracted and putting everything that's not you before you and above you, that's the number one way to destroy yourself. And that's the complete opposite of focus. To be focused, you have to be selfish. You have to be number one. And if you notice people who are what do you call it? People who are very focused seem almost like assholes. Like people are always like, what's up with this guy? What's up with that person? Like, for instance, Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, right? Kobe Bryant was superhumanly focused. This man was superhuman in how focused he was. To the point where everybody who watches sports knows that infamous video. I think of when Matt Barnes threw the ball in his face or tried to fake him out by throwing the ball in his face and he didn't even flinch. That's the deadly focus that Kobe had. Like, he was right to call himself the Black Mamba, right? Because that's how deadly that man was. And when you're focused like that, right, that's the selfishness that you need to really say, listen, I'm not good enough and I want to be the best and I want to be the absolute best version of myself that I can be, right? So when you have these guys who call up and they don't know what they want from a woman, they don't know what they want from their own life, they don't know which direction they want to go, they're not sure, which way they're steering their own ship. They're not even sure if they want to be the captain of their own ship of their life, right? Because of that lack of focus, they're constantly in situations that they hate, or they're constantly in situations that they can't stand, right? Mm-hmm. So they're constantly ending up with talking to women who are talking about, oh, we'll see, or maybe, or I'll check my schedule, or I'll let you know if I'm free. And they're constantly going along with that because of a lack of focus. Because if you were really focused, right, you would say to yourself, okay, this is what I want. And anybody who I talk to who's saying something completely different from what I know I want, I have no use for you. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta go, right? You're getting your termination papers ASAP, right? But when you lack focus and when you're undisciplined and when you're distracted, guess what happens to you, right? You go any direction that people want to take you in. You go any way the wind blows, and you end up calling Miles and Locario, wondering where did you go wrong, and should you check or charge somebody who clearly has no interest in you in the first place. When you are focused, right? When you're truly focused, you're going to be able to tell if somebody's cooperating with you or not, right? So since let's use the example of women. If you go up to a woman and you say, listen, I want to meet you at this time, at this place, on this date, and she's telling you anything except okay, sure, cool, sounds good, or what should I wear? You know right away that she's not really into you. If you're focused and you have ironclad rules and ironclad thoughts and ironclad direction that you're going to follow, you're going to know right away, like everyone's talking about the Spider-Man movie, your spidey sense is going to go off and tell you, listen, this chick is not really into me. She's not really willing to cooperate and follow the program that I have set, right? When you are not focused, you have no program. You have nothing to follow. You have nothing set. And that's why you constantly get the bad results from women, from friends, just from life in general. You're constantly not getting the results you want because you had no program in place in the first place. So if you had a program in place as a result of focus, as a result of saying, listen, okay, here's what I want to do, here's what I'm going to do, and here's the life that I want to live, and here's how I'm going to get to that life I want to live. Here's the rules that I'm going to follow, and here's the things that go against me. If anything goes against me, that thing has to go. That thing has to be kicked out of my life because it's taking me off the course that I've set for myself, right? That's a prime level of focus. When you lack that, like I said, you're just going to go in any direction, right? You're going to end up you're going to have conversations with people where they control the conversation. And then you find yourself on the hot seat where they're asking you questions and you're qualifying yourself to them. How many times do you hear people saying, yeah, I called and, I was talking to this chick the other day, right? And she was asking me, what do I do for a living? And she was asking me why she should talk to me. And then, man, I didn't know what to say. I was trying to think of ways and trying to think of things I could say to her so that she could keep talking to me, right? Because when you lack focus, now when you approach a date or when you approach any situation, you're thinking, I hope they like me, right? I hope they like me. I hope I'm worthy of their time, right? When I'm going on a date with a woman, I'm thinking to myself, I hope I like her. But most guys, like every time, I'll be like looking at God like, Lord, please let me like this chick, yo. Please let this chick be, let this chick be worth my time. Please let me, I'll be like having a private conversation with God. I'm looking up at him. I'm like, please let this chick not say nothing stupid. Please, please, please. I'll be begging him, yo. And then I go. And then I go on the thing, right? And I prepare myself. Like, I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. It's just, one of those things about life, just in case I gotta, end that thing prematurely. But that's the mentality you have to have, because when you are focused, you're the shit, right? And even if like that, you gotta believe that no matter where you are in life, you gotta believe you are the shit. Now, that doesn't mean that you stop working on yourself. That doesn't mean you stop improving. That doesn't mean you don't acknowledge areas where you do need improvement, because every single one of us has areas where we need to improve in life, no matter how old we are, right? And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be where you are, but you should still think you're the best man on earth, regardless of where you are. Regardless, because once you believe that, and once you have that as your core focus, right, your confidence will radiate and will reflect that, right? Your actions will reflect that, your words will reflect that, your thoughts will reflect that. And then in time, you'll start drawing people to yourself. You'll start drawing networks to yourself that are useful to you and that you can gain valuable knowledge and insight from, right? You start drawing women to you who are actually liking you for you, right? And are not insisting that, oh no, that place you told us to meet at, I don't like that place. I want to go to another place instead. All that stuff is going to be cut out. All that stuff is going to be cut out because you're focused on what you want and who you are. When you're on that dating app and that chick says, maybe we should talk on here more, right? You're gonna unmatch her right away because you're so focused on you that you don't have time for people who don't want to do what you want to do. She's perfectly free to do what she wants, right? She's perfectly free to not do what you want to do, but she cannot do what you want to do over there, right?
Yeah, right.
With somebody else, because you are so focused on who you are and where you're going that resistance and lack of cooperation and all that, that's not even something that you're going to even bother calling Locario and Miles and other people about. It's just going to be such a waste of your time that you're not going to even think about it anymore. It's going to be over and done with, and you're going to be going. You're not going to be looking at charging a chick as something to celebrate and talk about, because it's going to be so routine. It's going to be like breathing, right? None of us, right, celebrates when we take a breath. Unless you had like some near-death like traumatic experience. But barring that, right, when we breathe, it's a routine thing. We don't think about it. We don't go, oh boy, man, I just took a breath, right? We don't do that. But a lot of guys are like, oh man, I have to charge a chick to the game, and then they want to call and talk to people about it because it's like they just caught a rare shiny Gyarados in a Pokemon game or something like that, right? Nah, charging a chick to a game is part of you being focused, right? It's basically like another day at the office. It's so routine that it's not even something worth speaking about. Right. So you should never even have to form the words ever again that I had to charge this chick to the game. Who cares? That's what you're supposed to do. That shows that you're going out there, you're putting yourself out there, and you're seeing what works for you and what doesn't. right?
Mm.
That's focus, because when you're constantly the center of your universe, you're constantly dealing with people in relation to or in regards to who works for you or who works with you and who doesn't. So
Mm.
all the people who don't work with you, whether it's friend, family, or female, I always say this, whether it's friend, family, or female, especially family sometimes, because just because they're related to you by blood don't mean they have your best interest in heart. So if that family member is not even working for you, right? If they're not even really working with you and they're giving you resistance, or they're not cooperating, they're throwing a lot of negative energy and telling you all the things you can't do and why you're a failure and why you're gonna fail, you got to distance yourself from that person too. Some people you got to love from afar, right? Because you're so focused on you and the person that you know you're going to be, not the person you think you could be or that you want to be, the person you know you're going to be, and that reality just hasn't caught up yet. You're so focused on that person that anybody who says the word can't to you, that's a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, this person speaking Mandarin, I don't understand Mandarin, like, and I don't want to learn the type of Mandarin you speaking, so you're gonna have to stay over there. Right? I'm not gonna call you, don't call me. I just got to do what I got to do. Right? It's going to be difficult, whatever it is I want to accomplish. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but I know I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to remain focused in a world full of distractions, in a world full of Netflix, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, YouTube, all of this stuff, in a world full of all these distractions. I'm still going to carve through and carve out time every single day for me. After I come home from work, I'm going to carve out time for me, myself, and I, so that I can be the ultimate person that I want to be. All right. You got a lot of dudes out here celebrating the numbers of other men. I'll say that again. You got a lot of dudes out here. We live in a culture where males are celebrating the accomplishments of other males. And I admit this is something that I used to do, but I used to do this when I was a teenager back in high school. I didn't have no bills, no responsibilities, nothing. So I could look up sports stats all day and talk about, oh, LeBron is number 10 on the all-time scoring list and this and that and this and that, right? And I could like look at all these different men's accomplishments and be obsessed with that. I'm seeing a lot of grown men in their 20s and 30s talking about, oh, so-and-so has more subscribers than you, so obviously he knows what he's talking about and you don't. Like, always, like, at the end of the day, you're focused on somebody else's subscribers, but those aren't your subscribers. That's that other man's 500,000 or 700,000 or million subscribers. That's his accomplishment. Where's your accomplishment? Right? So you want to talk about somebody else and another YouTuber saying, oh, so-and-so has more subscribers than you, so clearly you're just jealous of him and he knows what he's talking about and you're a hater and blah, blah, blah. And you're focused on somebody else's numbers, but where are yours? Where are your accomplishments? Even if you're not a content creator, right? What have you accomplished? You're focused on this athlete and how many points he scored last night, but what can you point to in your life that you're proud of? Right? And that you're happy you accomplished. That's where the focus comes in too, right? Because we're in such an entertainment obsessed culture, right? And a culture that's so steeped in entertainment, right? That a lot of the times people really start living vicariously through other people. They really do. Like they look at other people and they get happy when they see other people achieving, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being happy with somebody else's success. But at some point, you got to focus on yourself and say, okay, I see that person achieving what they're achieving. They're achieving some form of greatness. What's stopping me from achieving my own version of greatness? What do I want to achieve that's great? And how do I begin to get there? Right? So that way, you can see their accomplishments and cheer them on and say, great, I'm happy for you. But then you can look in the mirror and be like, hey, I'm happy for you too, your own self, because you have accomplishments of your own. You don't want to just be living through somebody else. And that's where the focus comes in.
Facts. I mean, that's all that's heavy, man. All that's heavy. And the part I want to talk about, I mean, because you mentioned guys are not selfish enough. And there was something that we said on the show the other day about being selfish, and a lot of people don't truly understand selfishness and how it works, right? And a lot of people think that's being selfish is a bad thing. But remember, on the plane, again, we always use this damn metaphor, but on the plane, they tell you to put on your oxygen mask first before you put on anybody else's. Facts. You see what I'm saying? And that's because you can't help nobody until you're good, right? But again, being selfish it allows you to do what's in your best interest. Now, the beautiful part about that is that when you truly do what's in your best interest, you tend to end up being a blessing to others, regardless. You understand what I'm saying? That's truly what it's about. A lot of times we don't realize that we don't take ourselves seriously enough. We don't take the things that we find important seriously enough. And then when we think that we're being unselfish, meaning that we're trying to be nice, we're trying to people please. You know what I'm saying? These dudes call up talking about, oh, I was trying to make her comfortable. I was trying to build rapport. Right. And it's wait, you trying to build rapport to make her comfortable, but she's trying to find out what makes you comfortable. Because whenever you try to accept someone else's interest over yours, what you're really doing is you're rejecting yourself. Like all of these dudes are so worried about rejection. And you know what's interesting with the whole idea of rejection? See, guys take rejection personally, especially when it happens a lot. But then when you understand game and you holler at chick after chick after chick, you actually start to see it in the reverse. You actually start to realize that because I'm so focused on what I'm trying to do, whenever a chick is not talking the shit I need to hear from her, she's already charged. It's not even a rejection anymore. You get what I'm saying? It's actually either her charging herself to the game or me deciding that the page that you on, I'm not on. So it wasn't going to work anyway. You get what I'm saying? Like, and see, and that's the part that guys got flipped because they're focused on the woman. They think that a woman is rejecting them. But when you focus on yourself as a man, you start to realize so many of these chicks out here are not going to be on your page, especially when you're focused. Like you think of a laser, right? A laser, when you think of a laser hits a very small surface area of whatever it's trying to hit. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they call laser focus. That means when you're super focused, you're only going to hit a small surface area. So if you think about chicks, that literally means that there's only a small percentage of females that are actually going to be down to follow your program, that are actually going to be the type of woman that you want to interact with, the type of woman that you want to be with or deal with. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to like dealing with chicks and dudes talking about, oh yeah, she wasn't feeling me. It's like, no, it's not. Just like Ed just said, it's not that she wasn't feeling you. If you really, really think about it, you wasn't feeling her. Because if a chick is saying anything but affirmative rhetoric, or if she's saying anything but, oh yeah, I'll go out with you. Yes, I'll hang. I'll come to your house. Yes, I'll go get a drink with you. You understand what I'm saying? If she's saying anything but that, then she wasn't on your page to begin with. So where's the rejection? There is no rejection. It's you realizing, oh, you're not for me. You're not on my page. So I got to charge you or allow yourself to charge yourself to the game so you can go that way. You understand what I'm saying? But again, dudes only feel the sting of rejection because their ego is focused on the bitch. Their ego is not focused on them. You understand that? That's why that selfishness idea is, I don't know where it got flipped. I don't know where it got flipped. Like, I don't know if it was religion. I don't know if it was society. But it's like everybody, for whatever reason, they made it seem as if being selfish was something bad, when in the actual truth, being selfish is probably the best thing you can do. Because if you think about all the great people in the world, the reason why they were considered great people, just like you were talking about Kobe. You were talking about Kobe, rest in peace. You were talking about, name anybody you want, Michael Jackson, Prince, any one of these guys. The reason why they were so great was because they were laser focused on who they were, to the point where you're looking at their works, their music, the way they affected the world, their inventions, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, any one of these niggas, any one of them. You look at how laser focused they are on their own ideas and their own, just the way their brain works. The reason why they were able to become great is because they stayed focused on their own perspective, and then they magnified their perspective. You get what I'm saying? I want to show y'all something real quick. So this is, let me see if I can. This is a photo that I took. Right now, I want y'all to notice the impact of the face of this woman compared to the background around her. You understand? You see how it's blurred out. So it really doesn't matter it doesn't matter what's going on behind her. What you're focused on is her face. And that was the purpose of the photo. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
The photo has a purpose. Now let's just say everything was in focus, including the background. What if there was like a building back there? You might focus on the building and not pay that much attention to her face. You get what I'm saying? Or here's another example. Here's another let me see. I'm gonna get another example here. Screen. All right, now I didn't take this photo, but notice this photo is focused on all these different chicks. You understand what I'm saying? You of course you can look at each woman and find something that you might find attractive or something that you want to look at on each chick. But there's no specific purpose as far as each chick. There's no specific purpose about the picture. The purpose is spread across 4 girls. You understand what I'm saying? Now, now let's just say we look at approach, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're focused on who you are and what you're doing, not all of these girls is going to be feeling you. You understand? Not all of these girls are going to be feeling you because there's the purpose is spread out. So there's no focal point like in the other picture. You get what I'm saying? There's absolutely no focal point like in the other picture. So what you have to realize is that when you spread your focus, you're actually losing a part of yourself. You're stopping yourself from, allowing growth in a certain direction. You understand? And that's what's important. That's what's going to make you great. When you start to spread your focus too much, that's when you begin to lose impact. Like I remember another example is I was watching I don't know if you remember watching Afro Samurai. And his homeboy, the guy that ended up with the teddy bear head.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was a minute ago. Yeah.
Either way, it's his homeboy, and his homeboy always used 2 swords. He always had a sword in both hands. And he was like, why do you? He asked Afro Samurai, he's like, why do you use 1 sword? He was like, don't you think you can, defeat more enemies with 2 swords? And Afro Samurai was like, well, if I was to use 2 swords, then the power that I have to wield the sword would be divided. So I only use 1 sword. So when I strike with all of my power into that particular strike. So that means all of my strikes will be twice as powerful as your strikes. You get what I'm saying? I mean, that wasn't a dialogue, but that was basically the idea of the exchange that they had when they was young and they was training and they was talking about that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to talk about. And that's why a lot of guys don't understand the concept of or the difference between rejection and a girl charging herself to the game. You understand? Because a lot of niggas really think that when you understand game, more chicks is gonna fall into the fold. And I'm here to tell you that when you truly understand game, you're gonna be charging more and more chicks to the game. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like a lot of dudes that have a roster of like 3 girls or a rotation of 3 or more girls, you don't even want to know how many chicks they had to go through. You understand what I'm saying? And if they only went through a few chicks to get there, either they were lucky or their game was tighter, was even tighter because they knew where to find the quality of chicks that they were looking for to put on that roster. You understand what I'm saying? But the average dude, you're gonna have to go through chick after chick after chick after chick to actually find the chick that is worthy of a spot on the roster or within the rotation. You understand? So this is why it's a numbers game. This is why you have to go through these chicks. This is why you got to charge so many, because when you're focused, a lot of people are going to fall to the wayside. Even, and you talked about family, and what do we know about family and friends? The more that you develop your identity, is the more you start to see you out of nowhere. You just got less friends, or even if you're still friends with them, you don't see them as often. Why? Because you're focused and you're over here doing this. Like, I got friends that I'm still cool with them, but they're focused on what they're focused on. They got a job, they got family, they got wives, they got husbands. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So their focus led them somewhere else. Can I get mad at them for that? No. And at the same time, this is why you can't allow other people's opinions to like make you think less of your focus. Because just because my focus is not, necessarily marriage or kids or whatever, that doesn't make what I'm focused on any less important. And that happens a lot. Like, guys try to be focused on something, but then somebody comes in and tells them, oh, why are you focused on that? That's not important. You understand? And the truth is, if it's important to you, then it's fucking important. You don't need nobody to tell you what's important. And that's the point I was trying to make in the beginning, when I was like, yo, we ask these dudes, what do you want? And then they start stuttering and backpedaling. And it's like, bro, why are you so afraid to just say what you want? And that's because so many dudes nowadays are literally like, they feel ashamed to want what they want. You understand? Because somebody else might have an opinion on it. And again, that is the beauty of identity and focus, because the things that are important to you, because you're different from everyone else on this planet, the things that are important to you are going to be unique. They're not necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. And as a matter of fact, that's how it's supposed to be. We're all supposed to be, on a path to someplace different. Why? Because we're different people. It is what it is. You understand? So don't be ashamed that this person doesn't share your perspective, or that family member or that friend, like, oh yeah, he been my nigga since elementary school, and now I'm making the choice to go to this college and he's staying at home at community college. And he told me that, oh, you ain't no friend, you ain't no real nigga because you leaving and you going to another college. Or you think you better than me because you going on to bigger and better things, and all that type of shit, trying to make you feel guilty for your focus. For the thing that's important to you, for the thing that's going to take you to the next phase in your life. And yeah, I know it's disappointing and it hurts. And you're like, damn, that was my nigga for years. Me and him, we grew up together. That's like my brother. And now he telling me that I think I'm better than him, and all this resentment and all this bad energy between me and him. And I'm telling you, that's the price. That's the price of becoming who you are. Literally. That's the price of becoming who you are. Just like when you talk to a chick and you're like, hey, what's up? I saw you over here. I thought you was cute. And, I got a man. Leave me alone. I don't even deal with girls that talk to men like that. Why? Because I'm focused. You see what I'm saying? So it's easy for me to let her charge herself to the game. That's not a rejection. That's just me realizing that because I'm going in this direction, she wasn't meant to be a part of the journey, period. And there's nothing wrong with that. But because a lot, we feel that resentment, we feel that, like, that lack of validation, and sometimes it fucks with us emotionally, so that we get kind of hurt or whatever it is. But again, that's the price of being focused. That's the price of growing and developing into who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the side effects of not being focused, right, is confusion. A lot of guys out here are very confused because they're taking in a whole lot of information from completely conflicting sources of information, right? So they're literally looking at completely opposed views and
Mhm.
trying to get information from little bits and pieces here and there, right? And that's why they have the phrase "jack of all trades, master of none." Because yeah, it's great to be multi-talented and focus on different things, but when you're trying to give an equal amount of attention to different things at the same time, you're not going to end up being good at any of them, right? And you're going to end up tearing yourself down before you can even begin, right? So like, let's say something as simple as, approaching a woman or something like that. The average guy, because he's not focused, he does not know what he wants from her when he sees her, right? All he knows is he likes the way she looks. And that's why when he does approach her and all that, introduce himself and say, yo, I think you look good, my name is so and so, and then there's like that pause, and then there's that frozenness, and then that's where there's dead air, and she says something, right? And she says something that he didn't account for in his script because he's not really focused on him, and because he says something because she says something that he's not used to hearing, now he's at a loss for words and he's stumped. Right. And then that extends to other areas of life. That might extend to business. That might extend to the workplace or whatever. Your boss might say something and then you're stumped, right? You might have a chance to say something where maybe you could shine a little brighter to like the VP or something like that and probably get that promotion down the road. But instead, you freeze up in the moment, end up coming off awkward. And now, they just see you as still just another cog in the machine, right? So like we were both saying before, like when you're focused on yourself, once again, it requires a certain bit of selfishness. And part of being selfish is not caring what other people think when you're unapologetically you, right? So if a woman says something, like I say something, she says something back, like I said before, verbal tennis, I respond back to what she's saying. I respond back to what she's saying, and I don't care how she's going to respond to what I'm saying. Right? I don't care what her reaction is going to be because I'm stuck in my verbal tennis mode. I'm saying what I want to say in the moment because at the end of the day, the main reason why I care and I don't care at the same time what she has to say, number one, I care what she says because I'm trying to see if she's worthy of my time. That's number one, right? But at the same time, I don't care what she's saying because I don't really care what she thinks of me. All I care about is what I think of her. Right. And if what I think of her is like, you know what, she seems like somebody I could, see some type of immediate future with, not like a long-term future yet, but maybe something like, we could see each other over the next few weeks or next few months or whatever. Right. Based on what she says, that's all I'm looking for. Right. So when a lot of guys are like, oh, she said something and I didn't know what to say, I was stumped, etc., etc. Basically, what you're saying is I cared so much about what she was thinking because I was focused on her, right? And I was focused on the pedestal that I put her on, that I completely disregarded myself and I threw myself out the equation. And that whole situation and that whole interaction became about her, right? So now that whole situation became about her, now I'm thinking of something impressive to say. And because I'm thinking of something impressive to say, I freeze and I stunt myself. And now I'm stuck in a basic conversation that should be easy and naturally and free flowing, right? Because I'm so busy trying to impress her. It goes back to what I said earlier, right? When I was like, before every date, I'm like, yo, I hope I like this chick. Right. I really wish more guys would really like ingrain that mentality into their soul. It's all about her putting on an audition for you. She's already, in her mind, she's already been socially programmed to think you got to put on an audition for her. 9 times out of 10, she's like, this guy better be worth my time. He better not say something stupid. He better not be weird. He better not be a serial killer. I got my girls on speed dial. I got mace in my purse. Let me check. I got my knife. Blah, blah. It's like she's already got like, she's way more prepared than you, right? So you gotta be like, listen, I really hope I like this chick, yo. I hope this chick don't say nothing stupid. I hope this chick don't end up being a waste of my time, et cetera, et cetera. You gotta look at it like she's supposed to audition for me because I'm so focused on myself and I put in so much work into myself. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I got knowledge that could literally upgrade this woman's life, right? So right now, her sitting down talking to me, I'm literally the prize because I can literally upgrade her life. I can literally tell her things that she's never known before. I know this for a fact, right? So when you walk into any situation like that, knowing that you have the tools to literally make her a better person, you're like, yo, I'm blessing you with my presence right now. And if you don't have the intelligence to understand that and see that, it's on to the next. because I am focused on myself and what I have to offer, and I know what I have to offer. When you're focused on yourself, you can, like, if someone says to you, what do you have to offer? I'm not going to say that what do you bring to the table question, because I think that's a silly question and I don't think it should ever be asked. There's no need to ever ask it, right? But if you go, what type of person are you, or what would you have to offer as a person? You should be able to rattle that off. You should be able to rattle that off quickly, because you should know yourself inside and out so well that you can easily say what type of person you are and what you got to bring to any situation and any interaction, right? Focus is you taking a moment of silence every day, maybe an hour of silence, just to sit. Maybe you might need to turn the lights off, just be in some darkness for a little bit and just think, okay, where have I improved this year? Where do I still need improvement? What are my pros? What are my cons? What are my strong points? What are my weak points? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses, right? You might just need to sit back and reflect. Sometimes you might need to reflect on some earlier situations that you weren't too proud of, and like, yo, how could I have handled that situation better? How can I avoid a situation like that in the future? Or if a situation like that comes up again in the future, how can I handle it better? What can I say? What can I do in that situation to maintain my cool, keep my cool, and get out of that situation a lot smarter, a lot better, right? All of that has to do with focus. All of that has to do with preparing you for the future. You understand what I'm saying? Because you always want to be prepared, no matter what. Like, I understand there's things that could happen that totally throw you off guard, that totally come out of left field, but you always want to be prepared to the point where something as simple as talking to a woman doesn't throw you off guard and fluster you for the rest of your day, because that happens to too many guys. And when that happens to so many guys, they get discouraged to the point where they don't want to do it anymore. Like, you have especially a lot of guys under the age of 30 talking about, and they use that cop out. I'm focused on my purpose. I can't talk to women right now. I'm focused on my purpose. That's a big cop out, because we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? We can do many different things at the same time. And do you know what happens to guys who focus on their purpose and just focus on chasing money and advancing in their career and starting and growing that business, et cetera, and who only focus on that, and they don't talk to women or talk to people in general or socialize in general? You know what happens to them? They end up becoming guys who are doing really well financially and are socially awkward. And do you know what happens to socially awkward guys who make good money? They become prey, right? They become targets for predators, especially the type of women a lot of guys like to complain about, gold diggers, right? A lot of dudes out here like to complain about gold diggers. They only target the guys who are socially awkward and have a lot of money, guys who don't understand people in general, guys who have low social intelligence. That's their favorite target. Like, they love those types of dudes because those guys are out here in abundance. A lot of these pickup artists, dating coaches that you see out here, like, certain guys, people know who they are, right? You see them on YouTube. Pretty much all of their clients are making six figures, like 150 grand a year, 200,000 a year plus. A lot of their clients are doctors and software engineers and all those guys. So they put in the work in themselves financially to get to where they needed to get to, but they sacrificed their social aspect, right? They sacrificed their social intelligence. And now, because of that, they're struggling with something that should come naturally, which is talking to women and building relationships with women. And not just with women, with people in general. But as a red-blooded, heterosexual male, eventually you're going to want to have some type of relationships with women, right? That's why guys watch Miles. That's why guys watch Locario. That's why guys watch that panel that comes on every Sunday. People, like, guys, at the end of the day, they want to build relationships with women. They're all constantly looking to find that key to unlock the magic box to get what they really want, right? And that's why guys are out here willing to spend hundreds to thousands of dollars to just about anybody, just to get like some type of clue and just to get some type of hint in order to get what they really want. But the problem is, right, and I said it before, there's two main types of philosophies when it comes to dating, right? There's the internal philosophy and the external philosophy. The Sinister Six, I like to call you guys, that happen on every Sunday panel. You guys preach the internal philosophy. You preach that you have to focus on yourself, right? The truth is inside you. Manhood is a skill set, the man mindset, bad boy membership. You got to focus internally. You got to look within, because your life cannot improve until you improve what's within. Until you improve your mindset, right? Until you understand that your mentality creates your reality, you will always be running like a hamster in a wheel stuck in place, right? You want to stay away from the external mentality, which is the other philosophy that a lot of guys teach, which is, oh, all you got to do is get your money up, go to the gym, get a nice car, get nice clothes, and, you know, get a nice apartment, and the girls will come. The girls will fall into your lap. You want to get away from that external mentality, because yes, it is good to have those things for yourself, but that doesn't equal women, right? Because there's plenty of guys who have all those things, and they've never experienced a woman who's actually liked them for them in their entire life, right? So once you can be the type of person who can stand, you you want to be the cake, right? You want to be the type of cake where the flavor is baked into the cake, right? You don't want to be the type of cake where all the flavor is in the icing and the cake is bland. And that's what a lot of guys are going for. They're going for basically dressing, right? External dressing, putting on the nice clothes, using the nice jargon and the nice words, you know, getting all the nice material things like the shiny objects that they think will attract women like sea lions, but they're still empty on the inside. They're still underdeveloped as a person. They're still underdeveloped mentally, spiritually, right? They still are massively insecure, which is why they're constantly looking at other guys, and they're constantly focused on guys' jawlines and guys' heights and guys' builds and guys' tattoos and all that stuff, right? You constantly have dudes out here literally, and this is why you got to be very careful what you watch on YouTube. You have to be extremely careful. I'm very like, there's certain channels when I see like it's leaning towards too much of a negative place, and it's complaining too much about women or complaining too much about the world in general, right? I'll lean away from it, right? There was this business channel I used to watch a lot, but then one day all the guy kept talking about, the guy went from talking about how to set up your own business and, you know, improve yourself financially, to saying the world's going to end, man. Most people are lazy. The world is doomed. Society's collapsing around you. You know, you got to prepare. Society's collapsing. And then every channel and every episode became him talking about society's collapsing, right? So I steered away from that, right? Because I want solutions. And when you are focused, right? Here's the thing about being focused, and the beautiful thing about it. You look at whatever problems you have in your life, whether it's financial, social, sexual, romantic, whatever it is. You look at all the issues that you may have in your life, and you start focusing on the solutions. How do I solve this? Now, sometimes you might not have the answers within yourself. That's when you reach out to others who you know for a fact have the experience and the receipts and the proof and the knowledge to give you, so that you can help reach those higher levels in life, right? So when you're focused, you realize the answers that you do have, and you're going to realize the answers that you don't have. When you realize the answers you don't have, that's when you reach out for the mentorship and the coaching and stuff like that. And that's when you realize, okay, here is what I need to do to get to where I want to be, right? But you cannot get there if you're distracted and you're being pulled in a million different directions by a million different people who are each saying a completely different thing.
Right.
That's
facts, man. That's facts, man. That's a good place to end it right there, man. Like I said, this is the last show for the year. You know, Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. You know, everybody in the chat, respect to y'all. Respect to everybody that come through to the videos and leave comments and stuff, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go check out Ed Zone's YouTube. Make sure y'all go check out Normal Brands. Make sure y'all get on that Bad Boy membership. Remember, we got that end of the year Bad Boy sale going on. If you ever thought about being on a Bad Boy membership, right now is the time to do it, because you get a lot of stuff with it. You understand what I'm saying? So, man, appreciate y'all. And anything else you want to say, Ed?
Just want to say shout out to the chat as usual. You know, you guys take the time out of your day for consecutive weeks just to listen to me and Miles talk. So I definitely appreciate that. You know, shout out to, you know, Kenwood Drive. I see him, like, you know, the people that I see, you know, as regulars. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. Much appreciated, man. And like I said, once again, my YouTube channel is EDZone, EDDZONE. Yeah. My website is normalbrands.com. That's where you can get snapbacks, hoodies, t-shirts, all types of great stuff. It's going to last you a lifetime. And yeah, that's the main thing. You know, check out everything. Check out the pinned comment. Under every video, I got a pinned comment where you can see links to my Instagram and, you know, my books and more. So definitely check it out. All of it is worth it, you know. So appreciate you guys for listening. Happy New Year and success and prosperity to all you guys.
All right, man. Exactly. All right, man. So that's about it, guys. You know, like I said, Happy New Year. Let's get this let's get this game in 2022. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. And always remember the truth.